Good morning. We start with Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. From the heart of the Savior of 100 deities of Shushita, on a peak of cloud resembling a clam of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, omniscient Losandrapa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me, on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight. Supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for 100 yawns to spread the teachings. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. Pleasing drinking waters, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lights, scented waters, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech, and mind, especially those opposite to the three vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful. By abandoning the 8 worldly concerns, Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect, pure, holy Gurus, from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued, exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may it cause the essence of perfect pure Losandrapa's teachings to shine forever. Sajipaki Chushi Metok Tramri Rablingshi Nide Gembadi Sange Jindu Mite Uwa Idrokunamdak Jinla Chupasho. By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his 2 sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losandrapa, who had a morality of eminently pure way of life, was courageous in the extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, and accomplished the yoga of 2 stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. Now we recite 5 Lan Miktsema 3 times. Migme tsewe tenchen chen rezi, drime gimpe wampo jampel yang, dupo malu jonze sawendak, kanchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. Migme tsewe tenchen chen rezi, drime gimpe wampo jampel yang, dupo malu jonze sawendak, Ganchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. Migme tsewe tenchen chen rezi, drime kempe wampo jampelyang, dupo malu jonze sawendak, ganchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. And a prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Fearless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings. Through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in a glory for fortunate disciples.
Sangye Chedang Tsokjun Chongnam La Chanchu Pardu Dami Kyabsun Che Dagi Chushi Gyebon Dedak Drolam Benshi Sangjin Drupar Sho Sangye Chedang Tsokjun Chongnam La Chanchu Pardu Dami Kyabsun Dagi Chushi Gyebon Dedaki Drolam Benshi Sangjin Drupar Sho Sangye Chedang Tsokjun Chongnam La Chanchu Pardu Dami Kyabsun Dagi Chushi Gyebon Dedak Drolam Benshi Sangjin Drupar Sho Kangi Tuzi Nizone Tawa Tamche Pambi Chere Tambi Chun Tenze Kodam Tela Chantse Lo Namo Laye Kedan Lodan Nojen Ke Chupon Dada Mi Kenan Dro Kunji Tanam Chuzam Tamche Kedu Dagi Chuden To. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Chabadele.
Chabadele Geshe.
Tanzo Zalakbala. Chatan content and Roshigores. Content and then that so and Chilling to the Chenny. And that don't touch is drawing on the Chilling to Chenny. The Chigures, the Chidita Dundang Nemadilea, Chivakashi down Nani, and it Chochik, and the Namtar Gosum ki Chivi Lendi, Layavan the Tiring Shogi Tomadi, and Namtar Gosum Gingotun Dordichik, Shugi Isra.
So these Friday's classes, Geshe will try and recall as much as he can remember what we have discussed over these last few weeks, because these last few weeks, these classes have mainly been in relation to question and answer sessions. Yeah. So over the last few weeks, we've had a few questions, and one question in particular was regarding the 3 doors to liberation. So Geshe will give a brief explanation to that to begin with.
Chidanganzo logo masam sajing laya Devi logo masam sajing laya tanganzo sapa sanchak laya pigi lomzin chik da shong chik ra ane log de bares da shong cheta wa kaya ra pena lamrum jing da ani chonjuk chemola soba ta kanji ani kebi shong chik ma log ne titola deshe to jam roderes bayna ta du stawan dige ma tsik chik log de dige peshe mancha jing yob dingen rochira teliko kapdu la pa 아니 Geshe ngoto chiado chona 아니 테스치 야가 유비 소르치 라닥티 어딘지 단 소르고도 아스라 아니 대한지 돈라야 미 지오잡도건사 피기 용인 메사몰 지버지 연차면서 아니 쇼ን지 말로 대바나 아니 히마 카르로 요미 지마 용이 사와디 하고 말아왔어 딘디기 찬다 간지 먼저 쇼ን지 말로 대야 테스치 가드나 로데디 아니 딱딱로시 대금도 왔어 단진다지 주여바나 근데 BSP 로지마나 고 진짜지 뒤주여래 뒤주 진고촌 뒤주지 조야 연자 디나마고 엠보 시제도 양고디 로가로지레샤스로
So for almost 9 years, Geshe has been teaching these regular classes on a Friday, yeah? And usually that would be on the topic or the content of a particular text. So for example, it was perhaps relating to the middling lamrim or the guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. But usually it was in the context of teaching and explaining about a particular text. So Geshe developed a feeling, however, that if each Friday class is focusing on a particular text, then they might become a little bit monotonous and people may become a little bit bored with it. And so Geshe feels that it would be better to directly discuss particular questions and have a discussion in lieu of having a particular text. Because also from week to week, people are coming and going. So it's not a regular, stable group. So if they do not know where they're up to with that particular text, then it could become a little confusing. So if people are interested in studying a particular text, then there's the BSB program. Yeah. So that is also conducted by the classes here. So otherwise, it becomes a little bit sort of inconvenient if the people are not staying continuously. Whereas with the BSB group, it's a regular group of people. It makes it more convenient to teach. Yes.
thinking not sure empty chamba Chambala is my good friend. Yes, Chamba. Many years in Sera, my monasteries. And how is you thinking? My idea? Reading text or just discuss, which is good. Please, you give this. He know. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It's my honor to be with Geshe. Yes, we're friends long time. It's our monastery. Now he has 9 years experience here at Shenrig's Institute, and he knows very well, I think, the people who come. And I think he knows what is best for the people who are here. I think you know what is best. Yes. Of course, all Injis are crazy people, right? But that is all Westerners are a little bit crazy people. Geshe understands very well what we need, I think. So I think your idea is best, Geshe.
Thank you, Chambala. 어디래 진짜 다 간지 가정안서 채워디 아니 남들 고슴 남버터리 고슴 알야 데시캬로시스 나면서 다 남버터리 고스라운디 자위게 인지 돌에 갈라고 나 결혼하고 그러다 이네 벽에 돌아야 남버터리 고스라운디 남버터와들이야 고스음 용그래서 남버터 사기 넘버 탈사기 고델에 숨요레세 현다 디렌도스.
So our question that we mentioned earlier is related to the 3 doors to liberation. Yeah. So somebody asked, please explain about what are the 3 doors to liberation. So in English, yes, we have what is the title is the liberating doors to the 3 doors to liberation. So, but in Tibetan, yeah. So in Tibetan, it's really speaking about the meaning of entering through 3 particular doors, going to liberation or emancipation. That's all.
And then that number tarslaundi targut karele karni targores la tirashas ro karni targores laundi lamachunga bagi 송질이야 당지 짜기 타베 부스 소세지 먼저 아니 다 제 뉴무 줄라덴비 칸사스라고 하다 뉴무 줄라덴비 칸사 당간주 코로바 디데 피기 따직 짝 잡아 로 짝타 피기 아니 고맹이 짝타 그 칸바지는 죽샤와이나 아니 간니짱 타르기 말와스 베나 아니 간수디 아니 뉴무 피기타 마리바 데차 아니 샤당 차도 나르겔라 소비게 아니 샘기 뉴무 비게페 아니 짝타다위 나로라야 아니 춘 데샤스 춘 데샤스 딘자 아니 딘상간주 가두이나야 라마메바 디 뉴몬비 샤말레 추데반자 만줄레 가두이나야 라마멘도스 가진 피는 주샤도스 아니 간줄레 따치 저당간 참마가 라마 고기어다 라마 되기어되네 간줄 끼와라 라마멘도 네발라 라마멘도 간줄 치와라 라마멘도스 다 딘디게 라마 메비게 짝타다위게 뉴몽바 딜리파 타르바치 발라야 고 가리어레스 라운디 고숨 요레스 넘버 타르 고숨 세디 딘디기 뉴무 독숨 레파 아니 타르바치 고디 드리세 다 상기 다 디땡고 도스라 넘버 타르 고스 라운디 조디셰고레스.
So liberation, when we speak in terms of the 3 doors to liberation, what is the cause of liberation? Or what are we being liberated from? where are we being liberated from? So Lama Tsongkhapa pointed out that we are being liberated from the self-grasping attitude. And based on that self-grasping attitude, the person is, or the aggregates are developed depending on the afflictive emotions. So this all is like encapsulated using the analogy of an iron cage or an iron prison that has no way out. And that iron prison or iron cage is represents the afflictive emotions based on that self-grasping attitude. So we don't have any freedom from that. And we're under the power or the sway of those afflictive emotions, such as anger, attachment, aversion, ignorance, desire, pride, etc. So being under the power or the sway of those disturbing or afflictive emotions, we are without freedom and we're without control. So due to this, even though we want to have freedom or we want to have control, especially over, we don't have any freedom over the time of death or sickness or aging and so forth. So what is referred to is the doors to liberation from these power or lack of control of these afflictive emotions. So there's 3 doors or pathways to gain freedom or control over that. So this is what is mainly described in terms of the from free from what?
Teresa ta nganjol gogyu de rama was rama sama rama surgora ta rama ki devati tinza ta ngone nganjol ya kewala ya rama gogores nevala ya rama gogor de ya nganjol rama yo marwas tan chivala ya rama yo marwas nganjol mundu shendu ani tsepe gogorasro benam busin sunjujin imbayneya koran chivala ya 가오 싸우니 요 말아 들어. 가시 위tuk니. 싸우니 기분면에 아니 지 마시야게 답시 제등이 니고 내수 로가라스 디시야라 가니 시요 말아와스. 딘자 다 딘지기 라마 메비 토니 문데신도 제중인 기티 아니 뉴무톡섬들이스. 로 산직선 뉴무톡섬들이마도 아니 수카마레스 셴바칠로 미다지 소차 수카마레스 rangi gyugi nyumu tuksum teres. Ta rangi nyumu tuksum di ani marigba dacha shadan kontrola soba. Ta tsu gyugi nyumu tirig di ani nganzo nubshobi gyugi nyumu ina nyumu re shashobi gyugi nyumu ina nyumu tela ya kyaba kanya yosama res. Chikpa chikyan. Digi tsamalo nyumu dus gyula dembi kansa suyimba yana ko dungharla ya jorde ya chik. dichaga wasares. The daily trogi tap namtar gosum di ani handlen to bayna ngunzin chetu bayna ani manzuchi shannu gi mirik yawa mebi ton nyumun tili tarbi tapti gaji gatama yosares. The imbayna yanganzuchi handlen tu mutu ro ani bezun chetu mutu and hang kabuyan chik kansa suzuki and pigi tachik subu kamla sobal teni chik and nyumu shuk chejong yungras ra dacha shuk chejong tagdo shuk chejong ngaje shuk chejong la soba di toni and ngandu chik chelan juk mutubi ken dindi minda dindi yormato zawigi nganu chu gyugi nyumudi an sama gyugi nyumudi nyumu ba chikba ti ngandu dula ya jorgu ba chikpa chikyan is kebachi amandas.
So naturally, we do have this need for freedom. Yeah. So we need a freedom But however, we don't have freedom over our birth, over our where we abide, where we die, or we don't have any freedom or control over these. So even small insects, they don't enjoy death or they don't enjoy pain. So we can see that, of course, we ourselves, we want to have freedom and control over these things. So maybe some who are completely fed up or at their very wits' ends, they think that death is the only way out. This is a different situation. But in general, we really don't want to experience death and sickness. But these, because we don't have a choice, we don't have the freedom over these are actually due to the 3 poisons: ignorance, aversion, and attachment. Those 3 poisons that actually abide in our own minds, in our own consciousnesses. And this is regardless if we're Westerners or Easterners or from any, direction in the world. It is all applicable to every ordinary sentient being that have these disturbing or afflictive emotions. But it's really up to us to voluntarily take up and engage in the methods that lead to liberation. So it's only making a distinction whether we put that effort in or not, But there's no distinction or no difference in terms of level of afflictions or degree of afflictions compared to Easterner or Westerner, But it's only a difference in terms of degree that somebody has put effort into those methods for reaching liberation, So, but in terms of the afflictive emotions, disturbing emotions, we are in fact all the same. We're all equal in having them within our minds. That's all.
Pena danga longab GL sarwa sra longab GL sarwa longab GL sadigi mixing jogwa gingo charo dos nima le so tong desalaba and so gingo charo da anzo gingo chale ya deba tsawni ni ma de ya rawa mebiton rawa tsawni ni mebiton ra gingo charo dos te di so di ani anzo pigi taji ge da shense ya tsadi subu de le tsigo yabanza ani subu di gyudan ki ko ani ta kanji yakbu chile teni chumendo as anzo subu di ti mebanza kolya ani kango che wala ya ram me bachi te dindi ji ingo sare sarwa.
So, for example, Geshe is now reached his 50th year. Yeah, he's in his 50s now. So Geshe feels that on a daily basis, he can see the signs, of becoming older and older. So really approaching old age quite quickly. Geshe can see this. But even though he doesn't wish to experience old age, he doesn't have any freedom or control over it. So aging, you're sort of young and old. This is on the basis of our physical body. So but the physical body is something that is on the basis of its own causes and conditions. So, and this we don't have any control over. Becoming old and so forth, isn't it? That's it.
Big and Shego like you tapegumundos. Nima like Gengo chatter. Shego like you tapegumundos.
So Geshe is feeling that he's going to look less and less in the mirror because he's afraid of seeing that old age.
just shock. So, I every day looking mirror. Change this, put here some. As the kanji. Ani ngansul da ngoni chi rawang goya di kewa da neba da chiwala rawang gogor da yomares. Da di meba di me shengi pigi da chi ani zentro che shawa da tindi tsaw ni mayimba susu gyuji ani nyumung singe tela ya tuk yoba ti. Chom den dik disunga do asra.
So, if though we do not have a wish to experience these things, but we do not have any freedom or control over our death, sickness, aging, and so forth. Yeah. But this is the cause or the source of this situation is really due to our afflictive emotions. Yeah. So this is how the Buddha described it.
The nyumung di the nyumung bi tawe nala yo tsudeba. The nyumung bi tawa dile kandaji targo res. Tarya gi tarsa gi go kawali yo res na. The gosum di. Gosum di. Gosum dile ya. Ani tsu di the gyu ngung debusum le ya jarchen. Pena nga silabay na. Nga silabay na. Nga di gyudang kenjila teni nga chuyor was. Pena ngi subuta watliya. Ngi subudi gyudang ken mambu chitsobala teni ngi subudi chuyor was. Ani ngi subudi ne yor was. Ta dela teni zubun dela teni ani jebun jongya jiya yungur was. Jebu kiya jiya yungur was. Tinza subudi gyu toni samutana ani karsa ta rawandu meba ta demba meba silawata rawandu meba gyugeng toni samutana rawandu meba korang ngoyin chani samutana rawandu meba jebu chalaya samutana rawandu meba reyese di gosumdu tires.
Gosum dire. Ale gosum ini gyu ngo
Gyu demba meba.
Gyu demba
meba. Ngo demba matuba. And then jebu ya demba matuba. Gyu jebu ngo sum demba meba di gosum tires.
So some demba meba. That's it. So based on the gaining liberation or freedom from these afflictive emotions, where do we look to find that? Yeah. Where is the door? Yeah. So it is said that there's actually 3 doors to the freedom or liberation, but mainly that can be described in terms of cause, the nature, and the result. Yeah. So we can think of these cause, nature, and result in terms of our I. The I is something that has been established on the basis of causes and conditions. Yeah, it's been established on the basis of causes and conditions. And in the same way, our physical body is being established on causes and conditions. So, and in the same way also, the body itself is a result. Yeah. If we think in terms of result, then therefore the body has its own cause because it does have a result. So therefore there must be a cause. Yeah. So over these causes, we really don't have some sort of autonomy or control over these causes. So if we use that same reasoning that it's and we use that same reasoning in terms of cause, the nature, and the result, due to their causes and dependence on causes and conditions, they do not exist in a true manner or they do not exist truly. So you can say that the three doors of liberation is that the cause is not truly established, the nature or essence is not truly established, and the result is not truly established. So these are the three doors of the liberation. That's
There the Savi Chidan Namdar Gosum, Shadam Pe Mambu Yungures, Jadam Pe Mambu Yungures, Tanzu Sama, the Tuzuri Kanji Ton, the Yoda Sau Chagra, the Kanji Dodo the Teres, that di Ra Pumbu di Ani Gu Ngung Drebusum La Tani, Ani Demba Mebati, round the Matrabati, Ani di Shimbati, did Tobati, Ani Numumbi Travale Kandachin Tarigri said. The Tari go Kandachin Chagri Sagi, the Dinanga Cheshures, Ra, Dinanga Cheshures.
So actually, there are many different ways of describing and explaining what the three doors to liberation are. But since we don't have a lot of time to go into great detail about this, Geshe will describe it in a brief way. Yeah. So in relation to our physical body, we've got the cause, its nature, and the result. And if we're able to know and realize that these three are not truly established, yeah. So how is this realization leading to be a door to liberation? Now, this is a very important point. Thus,
That the Kandachi Tarigri is Laundige, Tanda Num, Tanda Kondisha, Num, Tuksumgi, Sawati, Maribaseti, Shayores. Rata Maribas Laundige, and then Anzu Dus, Ra, then Suzu P, Dachi, Suzu Cheba Menzingi, Yomaras, now Nyambi, Tony, and Rani Sachimbu, Zengoras. Khan Zingu Ngadi, Suzu Sem ya Chisamwa Kayamada Chitangi Semlia Sharzu be any Rawang Truba, Rawang Trubachik, Rawang Trubachik Shargores, Shava Nanshingi, T, Mariwadi, Shava Nanshingi, Tishembi Lodelia, and Mariwa Segores.
so how is this realization or understanding leading us to liberation? So we previously mentioned the three poisons, yeah. But the three poisons actually have a root, yeah, or main cause. And that root is ignorance or afflicted confusion. Yeah? So this confusion is relating in terms of everybody is able to apprehend internally, our internal environment. And we have this natural feeling of a self. And we actually regard that self as something exceptionally precious, very guarded and very precious. So this feeling of that self, without much examination, that feeling of the self feels like it is truly established there. Yeah, it feels truly established there. So this is what we understand as confusion, or that afflicted confusion or ignorance. Masula.
Namgu and Now Nyambige, Lodige, ya Nga Nansulda, Lodige, Nga Shensula Soba, Tindigi Tolia, and some Dang Mena, and Lamsan Lola Shaya, the Kaburas. Imbayana, Tindiji Shagi Yobadi, Pedro Shabana, Nanzu Subu Joras, Subu di, and shoki katu ya lana kazang zubu tagara yimba chik samgri mado ti kazang di mayimba ti gyur yoba chik nganzu sem lo lengi la ya chitang lo la ya sharig marwas ta takche chi dingi jemba na jaja gyatama kazang zubu di zotsari diri zubu di sabari samtungi ta mi nyongshi chik yungu yorwas ra.
So in general, when we think of this I, yeah, we're thinking of this I and the mind that apprehends itself for an I. If we don't think about it or take the time to think about this, then it's actually sort of a difficult concept to conceive of. But if we use a simple example, such as the body, early in the morning, we wake up and we have our body and we feel that it's the same body that we had the previous day. Yeah. So, but the body itself is undergoing change. We don't think we've got a new body. Yeah. So nobody thinks that we've got a new body, but we have this underlying feeling that this is the exact same body as what we had previously the day before. That's
the kazang zubu tagara yin samba diri lo di chidan chidan lo pares ra kazang zubu di yor do yoba di ta jacha ja pen tesang senri wa du tongora da ra manzu zubu di lo shi nga na lo la ya zubu yong so ba je do res di ngos ra chogoras ra tinan sing pen simjen do yin ba ne ya ko ani chi tu la ya ani pakpadang pula soba tsama jiho jab do das ani pen medo jin ba ne ya sharni pi ani nimba chado ya ko pi le ya gyur do yo wanza ro chi ani tsawa ni mangyur wa ji hop de gan gyur sha mai ba ko ani ranshin ko ra la gyur do wanza tu chado wa ra tinza nima de takda de me ba di ro dinji tong sang dang ba na nganzu phombo dia ani gyuwi rangshin chenji mato rawangi takpa wachi meba di ani tabi sebu rawas rawa yinba ina ya nganzu sam nalala ya rawangi chubachi rawandu yabachi ani chargi ores tintigi rawandu chuba tabi lo dila ya ani mongba sego ores kansi kugi nilu korang shingi meba inza nilu mishiba masi nilu dila ya shinju lodu shugichini tagiyanza lo telaya momba segres momba mariba ta di ongi teni ndesha kiya da ani shedan kiya di yungo tele teni le damada sani tamandi bi ta dunga yon so yongdan di teni chine res sungyoras ra.
so thinking about the body that we have today, we can engage that the body of the day before was something different, but it's really just within our own mind that we think that it's actually remaining in the exact same way. But really, it can be proven. Scientists can prove that over a 4 or 5 year period, the whole body has undergone a complete transformation. They can prove it, yeah. So in terms of our skin and our hair, it is not remaining in the way that it was over that period of time, but it was undergoing change on a constant basis, for example, over 4 or 5 years, yeah. So even a flower, it's very easy to understand that a flower, it doesn't remain the exact same for even a single day. It gets old and it deteriorates and dies, yeah? So not even a single day that our bodies remain in the exact same way. But however, we have this thought, we think that it's just remaining exactly the same. So, but it's very clear that the nature of our body is in the nature of change or transformation, but our perception of it is we think that it's sort of existing in an independent way. Yeah, but this thought is mistaken. It is confused about the very nature of how our body in this example is existing. Yeah. So this mistaken apprehension, just in this example, is what we understand as ignorance or affected confusion. Yeah. So this is, and on that basis, yeah, affected confusion or ignorance, we develop disturbing emotions such as anger, attachment, aversion, jealousy, desire, and so on. And on the basis of those affective emotions, it is said that we accumulate karma.
Dini nganzu taji pigi nganzu tongdeya sordeya pigi jig lagban changsa yosa ge ta jing phombo di ani leya tadang shandang di ani rawang ge chubata ta rawang ge chubata jig leya shenbi lo di le tene ani kariyung gors le di yo baina ani tel tak bi ngase ta nganzu ngase de ngadi 아니 오늘 받지 심죽 전에 아니 나 간드레스 나 콜은 두스 제바이나 자원이 니에메 받지 수강이 니가 말했어 니에메 가스나 비기기 아니 풍보들 봐딱 섬제마다 민기 딱 섬그 토니 나이 제바치바 마도 나 코란 라운드 메바인자 나 코레 유딘 메바인자 셀니 니기 메바디 내든 텔투 tukwares dinza ta phombo de round meba di phombo de round meba phombo de shangwa che imba tindi thong tukbaina tel tembi ngadia chi round meba ngau nyambi nganzu shukche mojora tindi lodi gyasa gyatamba shukchon royagi tabshi tiniraga yosares 다 니라바이나 nganzing lodi 가지고 숙청바이나 아니 ndcha 숙청와 아니 베나 샤단 숙청와 아니 차도 숙청와 팀지 로지 가지고 숙청 레바 디츠기 아니 잠지 로셋 로 무유 니술 따퉁인기 로디 야 숙치를 소말 때니 되니 샘컴 기부용야 텔레덴디 and ji maung bi kewal ya thya ani rawa yobach tindi song dos rada
So whatever we can see, whatever we can touch, for example, our physical body, yeah, it is composed of the something that is tangible, yeah. But on this basis of these tangible objects, in this case, our physical body, we actually, what we call is a impute, or we affix a self or a feeling of I onto these physical aggregates. But whereas if we examine and look to see where that self or that I is located, we actually come to the conclusion that that self or that I, the independent self or I, is something that is not findable. Yeah. So, but the mistaken idea or the mistaken thought is that we feel that there is an independent self, but when we examine and look for it, we cannot find or pinpoint that self or that I. Yeah. So what we understand is that that self is imputed by name, by terminology. Yeah. But because when we look for it, however much we look for it, though, we can actually not pinpoint it and find it. But it is actually exists in an imputed way or in terms of name or terminology. Yeah. So since the body is not something that is independent, and it's actually dependent on other factors, yeah. But due to this mistaken idea of thinking of an I or a self, something that is independent, then that strong grasping arises, yeah. So then based on that strong grasping, yeah, if we rely on the methods to reduce this thinking of the examination looking for a self and not finding it, then this is a good method to reduce our self-grasping. Yeah? And then to the degree that we're able to reduce our self-grasping, then naturally our desire, anger, attachment, and jealousy and so forth will also be reduced. And then, however much that is reduced, then there will be an increase of love and a proper understanding of the true nature of reality. And this apprehension becomes stronger and more clearer. So, and then on that basis, our mind becomes much more relaxed, yeah? And we're actually able to, into our future lives, gain some control over our rebirths. So it's said and mentioned like this. That's all.
네, 간주다 도 때바이나 간주 잠블리 나올라야. 다테서 잠블리 춘춘 차사로 왔어. 잠블리 내출 참말로 추준이 sab시 나올라야. 고마투에 차고 말아. 때바이나 간지 숙체시 영행이 미초. 야, 아니 랑겔 샴파미야게 이게 따치 총롱 그 상바디 숙체도 왔어. 그러. 다 딘티 리기 미디 아니 페나 야캅 지기 뻔볼라 키바이나 야캅 디나라 녀다 빼 망보 야캅 코나 마힘바 이용 그 소수 김지 야캅 소는 녀다 송에 녀다 주마체도 속도 왔으라 디 칼레 토와레스는디 피기 간지 숙쳔보들 때네 그러 간지 숙쳔보들 때네 용기요레스다 도도 타마텔야 간지 숙체 트라비 왕기 아니 랑예 빼 아니 다 데마투 같은데 하장 그 때문에 남라쟁강 될 거였는데 소자가 열었지 디 송이 디 소수기기 간지 숙체모 디기 아니 통미기 가서 다 규체네 아니 꼬라잡는 리기 열었어 디 인기 자체자다마 디레스로
꼬라잡는 가래 꼬라잡는 거
간지 숙체모 왕기 드니 차단기 왕기 아니 chigla data chigla nyeda ta tu chen ta thamandi wasen thamade sosu zawani kibu me wachi sogu yoras ro sosu demo to sosu pasu drona toksun shede goya dindi yungu yoras dit toksa so kasna nganzen tele tug yores.
So we look in this way. So if we look at our world in general, so within a 24-hour period, you can see that there are many people, many examples of a very strong self-grasping attitude where they look to abuse and take advantage and find their own gain at the expense of others. So this is due to the very strong sense of self-grasping. For example, the leaders in the world, leaders of a particular country, due to their very strong self-grasping attitude, they create many problems and disputes with their neighboring countries. So this is depending on really their overbearing strong sense of itself, the self-grasping. Yeah. So, and due to this, they remain in the experience of fear and anger, and even get caught up in a vicious cycle of fear and anger and jealousy and desire. And there's really becoming no end to this break in the cycle, yeah. And the result is that they only experience a very unhappy and disturbed mind, yeah. But this is mainly due to that strong sense of grasping at an I or grasping at a self. Yes.
그래다 랑간지 슈치타 온디기트니 지 셴라야 착도당 젠삼당 아니 지금 나르겔라 소바 마가벨로디 로 강가 수수 베 아니 지 베나 뽐보로 짐바나 강가 수수래 라요고야지 가르 제바이나 내가 가르치면 수수라 베 뛴 거야 로지 피기 약합라야 펜토비 내가 짐바이나야 수수라 베나 깨자 마티나 근데 싸워니니 지 제마주게라 소바 근데 제기어라서 니 난지 슈치트가 온 난지 슈치타 온디 아니 된다 개체와 로 집이 내가 돌아야 아니 개체와 니 삼로 담모도와 소수 찍법에 아니 짜침부 마도 삼무등에 간지 미디 가서 남주 담아서는 춘중 소상인데 난진들에샤스 디송고도 하스라 여러분지 뒤딱도 디송고 그랬어
So this self-grasping attitude, yeah. So based on this self-grasping attitude, then we become competitive with others. So, or the term others is something that is established based on that self-grasping attitude. And then we become competitive, jealous, and develop disliking towards others, yeah, based on this self-grasping attitude. So, for example, in terms of a world leader or a leader of a country, yeah, their responsibility is to work for the benefit of their people or the benefit of their country. But due to their self-grasping attitude and getting caught up in it, then they really end up working for their own self-interest, yeah, at the expense of the greater society or greater good, yeah. So they're not thinking in a general beneficial way, but they're really getting caught up in that self-interest or self-benefit, yeah. So this is due to that self-grasping attitude, yeah. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama regularly comments on this attitude. That's right.
Teni 제로무지기 송질라야 가리오레슬라디 당한줬다 낭추 징이지만나 아니 속사야 니백 개침으로 왔어. 다 속사야라야 아니 지금 배준 춘중지기 토네. 아니 속라보시지 사야지 요레 송레스라. 데 가리레슬라온디 쟁기 차와 야부 징이 쟁 개위 차와 징이 아니 지 지속라야 편도 징인기 미기 차와들라야 제수이란 치야드레스. 제수이란 치야드레스 송요레스. 그 제르무지 송디 배 아니 배준 첨부 제몽공에 비기 생기 개와 제발레 제수이란 치와스 송구도스 개와 담부초 잔주 셈기다지 제발랑이야 셴다 제발이야 삼원 단딩이 펜바지 존나 삼딩이 짐바나 쟁기 차와 야부 치온디 람상 제수이란 깨투고레스 람상 제수이란 깨투고라스 당 안주 제수이란 치야레 젠레 제수이란 치야 레라부문도스 제수이란 치야 파샤네 착도단 젠셈단 디파 아니 지 차와 야부 징인들이야 깡고 치야 아니 배준식도 왔어 디 가르레스라디 착도 슈치라고 그랬어 착도 슈치라디 칼덴스나 난지 슈치 뭐야반자 마리고 슈치반자 티치니 용구요레스 딩오네레도 왔어
So Tsongkhapa, Great Master Lama Tsongkhapa, if we speak from a Buddhist context, Buddhist perspective, Lama Tsongkhapa said that it's important in this context to accumulate virtue or positive karma, yeah. So in order to accumulate virtue or positive karma, there is a method saying that there is a method to accumulate a vast amount of positive karma with little effort. And that method is rejoicing. So if one rejoices upon hearing about somebody engaged in something positive in their accumulation of virtue, then if we rejoice, then we can actually, without much effort, accumulate a vast amount of positive karma or virtue ourselves. So so this is what Lama Tsongkhapa said, that rejoicing is something that can be done without much effort. And holy beings, when they hear about somebody that is put effort into positive activities or doing positive actions, then immediately those holy beings rejoice about that. But for us, on the other hand, this is something that's not easily that we're able to put into practice, because we have put aside rejoicing about the positive karma, but we actually feel jealous. We actually feel like we need to compete and outdo the other people. So put aside that feeling of rejoicing, but we feel like we need to compete and be jealous. And this is due to that self-grasping attitude. And that self-grasping attitude is due to that ignorance or that afflicted confusion. So this is right. This is the actual situation, isn't it?
가서다 마리바 육종에 베나다지 무유 내출이야 삼로당 통인지인 바이나 무유 내출라 삼로당 통인지인 바이나 대 엠피기게 뉴무 숙침부 유비 강사텔이야 인지게 돼야지 텔이야 믹스에 제와 용토야지 자고레스 대 디메나 다 뉴무 숙침온디 뉴무 귤레데비 강사텔이야 견다야지 로 뉴무에 견마다와지 뉴무 귤레데비 강사텔이야 견텐 텔라 마가와지야 텔라 드라타야 텔이야 네바타야 어 디지 용구여라스라 단 남주 여바이나 아니 그 귤레야 뉴무 숙침부 여바 균선진 콜레야 세와치야지 콜레야 로바치야지 어 samlo diki tugoras ra diki tugores.
So if we're able to reduce our afflicted confusion or ignorance, then we'll be able to consider about the true nature of reality. And then on that basis, we'll be able to develop stronger compassion and love towards those sentient beings that do have those strong afflictive emotions. Whereas in general, if we don't consider in this way, then we see the person having the fault. The person that has these afflictive emotions, they are the ones to blame or to be at fault. But if we use our discrimination or our intelligence, then we will actually, in reality, think of love and think of helping the actual person that is under this way of these afflictive emotions. That's all.
딘디기 남주 디 용야라야 남들 고som 디 톨야 남바테비 고som 톨야 삼당고 도스라 템 폼볼라자 나세기 이니 나오냐비 tapi 나저로 나 간라 딱사기 시 아니 폼보드 차고레스 랑안주 단디노 두시온디 가서다 제 페나 게시 툴트럼 슬라바나 게시 툴트럼세 딱사기 조디 아니 디 폼보 도도트라 고리리 수부친준 될다고 알아서 디 강딱사기 폼보디 이게 규당 온당 제비 톨야 딱제치네 코라운드 메바티 코라운드 트메바 어 딘디지기 톨야 아니 somlo당 투바이나 오니 제 프로듀션 남주 아니 게 두고요레스.
So in order to develop this sense of reducing our ignorance and afflictive confusion, we need to practice in terms of these 3 doors. We can use that as a method. So, but if we, based on the aggregates, our physical body, where we understand that the self or the I is something that is labeled or imputed onto this physical body. So, for example, Geshe used himself, yeah. So we usually apply the label of Geshe's Tsultrim to Geshe's physical body that has a round face, a small body, and so forth, yeah. So we apply that name Geshe's Tsultrim to this group of aggregates that has these parts, yeah. So we can take that same reasoning and apply it to that anything that has a cause, is nature, and is a result, is not truly established there. Yeah, it's not independently established there. So on this way of thinking, this methodology in relation to the 3 doors, then we can develop a greater awareness, a supreme type of discrimination. That's it.
Terda kanji number 3 go slaunde number 3 go slaunde number 3 go di ani demba matba dres ta deba shina ani go sums andunri samdan chogodas kanji number 3 number 3 gi tarsa di nyumula jane nyumung gi tsawa mariba de tanji shiwa nanshinki ani denzi de la jane ta dili tarba di ani tarbi go dame base dame base ro dame base shesa gi shidi nga da ngi phumbu ro ni chagres tam phumbu de dame zu karsna phumbu de rawand meba phumbu ngo rawand meba karsna gyu rawand meba jela teni phumbu de trubdos tinza phumbu di ngo demba matu base di ku gygen jela teni truba dagarangi ko rawand meba di drup thugu yores chida drup thugu yores ta ya ane dendi rawand metsula ya ane rigban namra mambu ton ro so the ship sabu samdang na rigban mambu ton ane rawand meba drup yores.
So these 3 doors of liberation, yeah. So each individual door of liberation is something that is not truly or independently established there. So we are being, these methods allow us to be free from or liberated from these afflictive emotions and its basis, ignorance or afflictive confusion. And that is on the basis of gaining a realization of selflessness. Yeah. So this selflessness is looking for and finding a self or an inherent self on the basis of our physical body and our physical aggregates, yeah. So due to this lack of inherent self, or the meaning of selflessness, yeah, we can see that there is no inherent truly existent self there, but is due to various causes and conditions, and that it exists due to various causes and conditions, yeah, and it's dependent on. So we can actually, in general, there are many different methods of logic and reasoning that can be used to establish the selflessness of the aggregates. So, and if you think in great detail, you can come to this conclusion, and you can use this logic to prove this idea of selflessness.
좀 된데 내가 사슈데 아니 ten jongwares song yours. Penam pombo di rawan di yomares. Pombo rawan de medi pombo de ten jongwares. Gyutan gen mambo jila ten jongwainza ko rawan di yomares. Ra di hago tubaina. Yacha gyata manganzo semla ya pendoj yungyosares. Ra ten jongwa se di kodunt. Ani sanji ten jongwa sonja yi ti tolya. Ani penata tensangi pena shimju chingi rikchi kanzing tolaya shimju chingi yorata ta sanji gi tenin jong songwa ti tolaya tenjong ti tolaya shimju chejini suzu be pena zomshok ro chi putabu chitu baina ta gacha gata ma shu pendo yosares.
So the Buddhist Shakyamuni mentioned a very salient or important point in this regard. So he taught about the presentation of dependent origination. So something that is dependent on causes and conditions is something that is a dependently originating phenomena. Yeah. So in this case, we're talking about our aggregates. So due to the fact that our aggregates are established due to causes and conditions coming together, it means that it is naturally something that is not independent or not reliant on causes and conditions. So if actually this way of thinking or this way of understanding is something that is very beneficial and useful for our lives, if we're able to understand the Buddha Shakyamuni's presentation on dependent origination. Yeah. So, for example, there are many sort of researchers, yeah, or scientists that are examining, and they are coming to the same conclusion of this dependent origination. That's all.
Re sanji chomden di kongra re ani sanji chomden di jinju ke da kewu tamba tusuk ro namju phut chongding pena tang gombul ru da aryan dewa da sanji kyang da panden dawa tawala sobe zu be namju tuni ani cheba chesa di tenjong gribe tolaya nang yores ro chezam imba inaya keche shu di ani manshu di ani tenjong dan drive ton tenjong imbi gyunsen jora 대단 제비토네 제점나 요레스 근데 배 기비 나는다 기브 풀도 중한데 야와준가 봐 야와준가 봐기야 쪼디 손포도 접기요 디나네 아니 포도 체슈지 포든가디 텐종 그리바티 디 냉갈이야 자르체네 아니 제점나 쇼고 동자만 보여레스 로
So the Buddha Shakyamuni and his followers, such as the holy great beings, such as Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, Buddhapalita, Chandrakirti, and so on, they are very highly intelligent scholars, and they used that intelligence and looked at this teaching on dependent origination, and they were established it using their logic, yeah, and used it and proved in a very logical way. So this is establishing their understanding or the actual reality of dependent origination. Yeah. So in terms of Tibetan scholars, for example, like Great Master Lama Tsongkhapa, among his 18 volumes that Lama Tsongkhapa composed, then his largest volume is really about an explanation on dependent origination, and this has got many thousands of pages.
주 gyudan kenla teni jongsuldi ani chikchidi lelhawu dojore ne imbayna ya takjechin ngone chi gyudan kenla teni jongsuldi ya takjechin pigi tachik sanje da an digi jinju pe ludu yabsel sobe somba tsamayimba soso ranyi gi pe 아니 상로당 심주지 매일 깨제도 상로당 바이나 수수 셈니 네번이지 연구여서래서 네번이 와질래 바이나 다 디기 아니 로디기 아니 수수 규기 아니 마리바 아니 되자 세단라 소바디 아니 디기 좀 두고래서 아니 디레도 왔어 너도 소 디레서
So actually, what is the way that these causes and conditions come about? Yeah, we can say it easily, but we must examine for ourselves, yeah, the way or the method that these causes and conditions they exist, how they exist. So we can examine in the same way like the great masters, such as Nagarjuna's and his followers did. And they examined, they analyzed, they even asked, other people and so forth and discussed it. And on this basis of your examination, then an understanding, or you will really ascertain this meaning of, why the method of causes and conditions. Yeah? So then if you're able to look at this structure within your own mind, yeah, then on this basis of this understanding, we can destroy, we can completely eradicate ignorance, attachment, desire, aversion, and so forth. So this is a brief introduction of the main points.
do something 지다 땡중 돌아야 상당 중인 게 미추기 지심체와 자와 개체 돌아야 폭장 림부 돌아야 개와는 개와 균은 줘야기 삼루땅 트고요레스 다 땡중기 간다 라왕기 주바 셴딩이 저러스 난징기 샤원 주동이 수기 아니 개와 치마 파샤니 친디기 된다디야 아니 간지 야부치 로 템부치 줍투고요 말레스 로 디자 단다 아니 넘버 2고 동반인세 디톨에 상담하나 아니 풍부톨 풍부디 규 덴버 트바시 싸우니요 말레스 간스는 풍부 규망부지 소니 규망부지 순드네 풍부도 두고르마도 아니 지금 상황기 규칙이 풍부디 줍투야지 싸우니요 말레스 자위 무스 그냥 안주 수보도 어디 밤이 쿠달을 때니 두고여다네 밤이 쿠달 쌈기 줍투면 텔야 로봇게 망부지 고고여버디 다 심죽 징에도 제투고래서 반단이 거래서 진짜 아니 풍부 코랑 공 돈을 썸다나 아니 라마메바디 규위란신 젬바디 난주 소르투고도 왔어 단 풍부를 때니 지 대기 종야 동안 종야저 대한 아니 딱바 템부지 싸우니 요 말았어 대긴 제부 대두라야 딱바 템부지 규위란신지 마도 딱바 템부지 요 말아 딘지 samlutani ani phumbudi rawandu me batayadi the number 3 go said tiris
네. 드레부니 숨어서 드레부
제부디 phumbu la tene dedu devada dungan 좀 데부죠라
That's it.
만타세
So let me just read over. So if we think about what is dependent origination, if we think about these important points, this would be beneficial for us being able to be in a position to recall or consider about important points in lives, this life and future lives, But if we take just this example of how present body, putting aside future lives, we focus on our present body, then we can understand that the body has a cause. The cause of our body is something that is not truly established. Yeah, it is coming about due to many causes and conditions. Yeah, so for example, the causes of conditions of the substances of our mother and father coming together. So, and other many different causes that are required for our body to be established. Yeah. So then, and the nature of our body is something that is changeable, is undergoing change. Yeah. And this is something that is not truly established. And then as a result, the pleasant sensations and the happiness that we experience based on our body, yeah, or our aggregates, is something that is also undergoing change and is never abiding stably or abiding permanently, but is undergoing constant transformation. So if we think about in terms of cause, nature, and result, then we can understand about these are the 3 doors to liberation, and one way of explaining it. Lasula. So we'll leave it here for today. Is
아니 저는 저 셴바들도 아트 안지마데 시오라.
Yes. So let's so if there is any other question, then you be free to ask that. There was another question that was emailed from the same person, but we will get to that in the future class, as time is about to run out.
Yeah, thank you.
Final Lamrim dedication. From my 2 types of merits vasa space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a grand length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Thank you.